Hello, my beautiful empresses, princess, queens. Welcome back to Julia J, and I'm Julia J. Thank you for subscribing and commenting and hitting the notification bell if you are a subscriber. If you aren't, please consider subscribing to my channel. Here is all things personal, the person behind the spiritual bombs, and tea and tarot with Julia. This is something that's um, dear to me, something that I recently went through, something that I had to do, and I'm going to try not to cry, but I preach peace. There's nothing like your peace and letting go of toxic things and people, family, and children, grown adult children, in order to maintain that peace. This video is, um, excuse me, this video is you can love them and still let go while I stop holding space for grown folks who keep hurting me. Now, I want to say this softly, but clearly. You can love them and still let them go. You can care deeply and still choose peace over pain. This isn't about being cold, it's about being whole. And I had to learn that the hard way. When you keep pulling me into rooms where I was never safe, I'm sorry, when love keeps pulling you into rooms where you were never safe. I was raised to believe that family is everything, that blood means you stay, that you forgive and explain and bend even when it breaks you. But tell me something, ladies. What happens when the people you're supposed to feel safest with are the same people who hurt you the deepest? What happens when your grown children, your siblings, or parents refuse to do their work but expect you to carry the weight of their chaos? There came a point where I realized I was holding space for people who never held space for me. I was losing sleep. I was losing energy. I was losing parts of myself in conversations that always circle back to guilt and disrespect. I kept trying to make peace where there was no intention to grow. I kept hoping love would be enough. But love without boundaries is just self abandonment. And I had to abandon myself one too many times in the name of being a good daughter, a good mother, a good woman. Spirit had to remind me even grown folks have to be responsible for their healing. Even your adult child, even your sister, even the people you poured into all your life. Love does not excuse disrespect. And just because someone shares your DNA doesn't mean they are entitled to your life. Letting go was not betrayal, it was protection. And that protection was sacred. I stopped answering every message that came with manipulation. I stopped showing up where my presence was only expected, not appreciated. I stopped explaining my boundaries. I stopped begging people to see my growth, my worth, and I stopped feeling guilty for saying I would not care what you refused to put down. I still love them and I still pray for them, but I let go of the idea that I owe anyone constant access to my spirit just because we're related. You're not a bad mother. You're not a bad daughter. You are not heartless for choosing peace. If they keep hurting you and calling it family, you are allowed to stop answering. You are allowed to stop sacrificing. You are allowed to choose yourself because healing doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes healing means distance and peace. And finally hearing your own voice again. Now, obviously, this is on a personal note, but it's also out there for other ladies that can relate. Now, if this message spoke to you, spoke something sacred in you, I invite you to walk deeper with me. You can explore my spiritual counseling sessions and healing tools through the links below because sometimes you don't need more advice. You need someone to hold space for you, the way you've been holding space for everyone else. If you're ready to stop spinning and start healing, it's waiting for you. Thank you guys. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Namaste.